Alright folks, so for this series we are going to use the Mega Lopunny, and this is a list that I have run into myself as well as double checked and found someone in Japan using it. So of course your main attacker is Mega Lopunny EX, and your main attack is that first attack, Gale Thrust. If this Pokemon moved from your bench to the active spot this turn, this attack does 170 more damage. So that is very important and key wording. That means that it has to be your turn, has to start on the bench and then move to the active. So it doesn't work if like Baniri is on the bench and then you put Baniri in the active and then you evolve there, because this Pokemon has to start from the bench. So you have to be evolved on the bench and then move into the active. It also doesn't work if, like, let's say you've got the Mega Lopunny on the bench, they take a knockout, you move Mega Lopunny to the active, and then it's your turn, because that is considered Pokemon checkup between turns, and it would not activate this ability either. So the things that you've got to do, let's talk about all the different Pokemon in here. So you do have Mega Kangaskhan, which is just in play for the run errand, because there is really not enough energy in this deck for you to attack with it. So I mean there is, but then literally you'd like lose all your energy. So you want it in the active, run errand for draw, and then retreat. And to help you do that, you do have the Latias EX, of course Skyliner. Your basic Pokemon in play have no retreat cost. Of course, this does not work on the Lopunny itself. So different things you can do. You got the Clef Key for the Mischievous Lock. As long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, basic Pokemon have no abilities except for Mischievous Lock. And to help in your setup, you've got Ditto Transformative Start. Once during your first turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may search your deck and choose a basic Pokemon you find there, except any Ditto. If you do, discard this Pokemon all attached cards and put the chosen Pokemon in its place. Then shuffle your deck. So if you don't have Kangaskhan, something else you can do is you can put your ghosts in the active, because if you start them in the active and then you Cursed Blast for either Dusclops with the 5 or Dusknoir for the 13, you'll knock yourself out, and then you have to move someone to the active, and ta-da, now you have the perfect opportunity to put Lopunny in the active and hit Gale Thrust for 230. Your other switching options are, of course, switch. So once your Lopunny is in the active and you need to get out of the active, you'll use the switch card, and then you can switch into, as long as you've got the Latias in play, you can switch into Mega Kangaskhan, do your run errand, and then you can even retreat with Kangaskhan to put Lopunny back in the active. Another option that you've got to push Lopunny to the active is the Jet Energy. So when you attach this from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon, switch that Pokemon with your active Pokemon. So now Lopunny has its energy cost fulfilled and it's in the active. So really important. And the only other energy in the deck is the Enriching Energy. When you attach this card from your hand to a Pokemon, draw 4 cards. So that is one of your only other ways to draw cards other than Kangaskhan, and you can use that to utilize your second attack, the Spiky Hopper. So you got to have 2 energies for that one. It only does 160, but it isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So things like Mimikyu Safeguard or Crustal's Mysterious Rock-In that make them not take damage from EXs, Spiky Hopper does not care. Alright, other trainers and supporters. So Buddy Buddy Poffin to get you set up, Nest Ball for your big boys, Night Stretcher, Rare Candy, this is really helpful for your ghosts, Switch of course, Ultra Ball, Artisan, and then your supporters are Boss's Orders, Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking, which is really good in combination with Run Errand, because you search your deck for 2 cards, shuffle your deck, then put those 2 cards on top, and then with Run Errand you draw the ones that you need. Or if you don't have Run Errand, then just kind of setting yourself up for the next turn, provided that you don't shuffle your deck afterwards, because if you shuffle, then everything you've just put on there means nothing. But the biggest supporter in here is the Helda, because you can look for an evolution Pokemon and an energy, reveal them, put them into your hand. So you can use this for your Lopunny, for the jet energy, use it for some of your ghosts or the enriching energy. Basically, this helps you get set up. And the Vitality Band. So this lets your Pokemon do 10 more damage, but that 10 can make a big difference. So Gale Thrust hitting 230 with the Vitality Band can hit 240, and that's basically every basic Pokemon EX in the game that is not a Mega. Okay, and that is the Lopunny deck, so let's try it out, and we'll see how it goes. And I will go first, which is perfect. That's what I want. You want to be able to play your Baniri, and then next turn evolve into Lopunny. You start with the Ditto, which is not bad. Actually, that's good, because I got Ditto plus Buddy Buddy Poffin. And they start the Hawlucha, so that must be a Dragapult deck, and that is not how they want to start. So let's get one of each of these. I've already got a Jet Energy and an Enriching Energy, which is phenomenal. Let's transform. Let's get Kangaskhan. Run errand. Okay, that is not a bad couple of cards. 3 Ultra Balls, incredible. I'm not going to play the Artisan though, because if they had to start the Hawlucha, that means they don't have anything else, and I don't want to get them into the game. Okay, and they're Ultra Balling. Ooh, Jamming Tower and Counter Catcher. So they've got a really bad hand if they have to Ultra Ball. Okay, and they're expecting to lose the Hawlucha, which is correct. But man, they must really have nothing if they still can't get a Dreepy in. And we're going to get the Latias so that once I run errand, I'll be able to retreat, which, you know, I can still... I'll have the Jet Energy, so that's no big deal. And I didn't Cypher Maniac because I wasn't sure what other supporter I may get. Okay. Alright, well, you know, I've still got triple Ultra Ball, so let's go ahead and Nest Ball. I'm gonna grab another Ghosty Boy. Gosh, this is 12 cards in hand on my second turn is kind of silly. So let's get rid of both of those Artisan. Like I said, I don't want to get them in the game. Now, the only thing I would have loved, the reason I didn't use Cypher Maniac is because I could have used Boss's Orders to knock out the Pheasantipity and just still stick them with just the Hawlucha. Oh, I've got just 1 Bosses in the deck, but I've got 2 rare candies, and this means that next turn I'll get 2 Dusknoirs. And so I am going to wait. I went ahead and evolved, but I didn't attach the Jet Energy because I do want to go for the Pheasantipity. I'll be able to rare candy and knock out the Hawlucha. So that's another reason why it doesn't really run that many boss. Double rare candy, double Dusknoir. You're gonna have a bad time. And then jet energy on this one. Aw, man, you're gonna let me do the thing? Okay, well, they conceded. That was about to be 230, and that would have been game. So yeah, that's how it goes.